Let me read to you a passage from the 14th chapter of St. John's Gospel, verses 27 to 31. It's the Gospel for Tuesday of the 5th week in Eastertide. St. John writes, Jesus said to his disciples, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. You heard me say, I am going away and I am coming back to you. If you loved me, you would be glad that I am going to the Father, for the Father is greater than I. I have told you this now before it happens, so that when it does happen, you will believe. I will not speak to you much longer, for the Prince of this world is coming. He has no hold over me, but the world must learn that I love the Father, and that I do exactly what my Father has commanded me." That's from John chapter 14, verses 27 to 31. And what does it suggest to us? Well, one of the intriguing phenomena of the modern age is its characteristic rejection of the supernatural. That is not to say, of course, that all who live in the modern age reject the supernatural, but it is to say that the tendency of our culture, of our media, our literature, is to think that this material world is all that there is. It is the one and only great fact. Fundamentally, this is an assumption, of course. Another word we could use to describe it is naturalism. What we commonly take to be nature, the nature of our direct experience, is deemed to encompass all of reality. I say it is intriguing because, apart from our modern period, which embraces the past few centuries, man characteristically has accepted the supernatural, and indeed has tended to regard the supernatural as more powerful and significant than the natural. Well, let us not linger here to critique this, except to point out that this viewpoint can contribute towards a lack of readiness in the mind of modern man for the message of Christ. Modern man tends to find it difficult to accept as real any talk of what is not material and what is not within the reach of the physical senses and physical examination. However, Christ and the entire body of divine revelation which preceded him and prepared for his coming was about the non-material. It was about the supernatural, the realm beyond the material. To begin with, God, who is beyond this world, is its master. He made it. He sustains it in being. He is its Lord and ruler. And by means of his overmastering providence, he attains his ends. He is the first fact of all, and the origin of all other facts. The fact of God is the first thing that Revelation bears witness to. It also bears witness to his providence. Just think of the wonder of divine providence in bringing about, through and in the course of history, the life of each human being. That is to say, each of us is known by God from all eternity. Somehow, through the countless twists and turns of human history, the incalculable number of seeming coincidences which make up the story of the world, God brings it about that we, each of us, chosen from all eternity, receives life and being. God is the ruler of all. So the fact of God as the unseen ruler of the world is the first, what we might call, shock to the mindset of modern man with all its naturalism. There is a second point, and our Lord makes it in our gospel reading that I've just read a few minutes ago. It is a startling consideration to the one who thinks that this world is all that there is. This point is that this world has what our Lord calls a prince. In saying this, our Lord is not referring to God. He is referring to another spirit, the spirit of evil, and he is a person. He is the angel of darkness and is the prince of this world. In speaking of this world, our Lord is speaking of the world in its multi-layered and multifaceted tendency to resist the being and the authority of God. The world yearns for God on the one hand and finds its happiness and fulfillment in Him, while on the other, at the same time, wanting to find its happiness and fulfillment in itself. In this second tendency, it has a prince who seeks to make this tendency the dominant one in the world and in the life of every man. This prince appeared on the stage of human history at its very dawn. God made man and woman and placed them in a happy and blessed situation of goodness, harmony and life. They lived in communion with God and had only an abundant life to look forward to. Being persons, they had the dignity of free choice, and with that of free will, and with that they had to make a choice. At this, the angel of darkness, himself God's creation, appeared on the scene and won a spectacular victory. He led man and woman astray, and darkness fell across the land as it had across much of the angelic land long before. So the angel of darkness became the prince of this world, and the scene was set for a great struggle. God announced that He was entering the lists to reclaim this world, and our gospel today refers to this struggle and to the victory that would be God's. As our Lord says, "I will not speak with you much longer, for the prince of this world is coming. He has no hold on me, but the world must learn that I love the Father, and that I do exactly what my Father has commanded me." Christ obeys the Father, while the prince of this world refuses to obey Him. There are two great standards held aloft in the universe. Both are unseen, but mankind in general knows that they are there. They constitute and represent a choice for every man. Which standard am I going to walk behind? In whose army am I going to fight? There is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords on one hand, and there is the prince of this world on the other. The former will take me to the cross, and through the cross to glory. The latter will eschew the cross and will take me to pride and sensuality, and thence to death. What's it to be? Life or death? Let us take our stand with Christ and follow Him to the end. It will take us to glory.